Story 1. Images from X, formerly Twitter, are not visible to Reddit users who are not on Twitter. It was always a poor fit. So yes, I agree. I'm not interested in joining a website or penetrating a paywall to see a post. And Musk is a dozy fool. If you are trying to sell to people with money, keep your politics to yourself. Story 2, yes. Since Platform X has a policy of only being able to see linked content when signed in, it affects the ability of the Reddit algorithm to properly present useful summary information about the link, such as the title and thumbnail images. Also, allowing links to Platform X encourages Reddit users to sign up for a competing platform. Story 3. Banning screenshots seems like a bridge too far, but I'm fine with banning links since the site is next to useless without an account anyway. Lots of subreddits ban paywall links and no one complains. This feels like the same premise. Story 4. To just repeat my own comment from a niche subreddit that was voting on this, I would have voted yes before the Nazi issue, for the reason that it requires a login to view a lot of the content not everyone uses or wants to use Twitter, and people shouldn't be forced to register for another site in order to be able to use Reddit. Twitter links should be banned or screenshots made mandatory for the same reason Marvel Comics need to stop publishing a new Crisis crossover story every few months. The Nazi issue just gives me 2 reasons instead of 1. Story 5. I don't care either way, but Reddit has decided that subreddit after subreddit with the exact same post needs to be on my feed. And they're subreddits I've never visited and don't have an interest in half the time, like local city subreddits that aren't even local to me. It's annoying. And they keep coming even when I mark hide posts like this on them all. Story 6. I find it funny to watch. Reddit users are infamously bad at protesting. Remember the Reddit blackout from a while back? Nothing will come out of this besides a few moderators feeling like they have power for a day before everybody forgets in a week. A huge chunk of Reddit is reposts from Twitter anyways. This isn't sticking. Story 7. You can ban whatever you want or do whatever you want on Reddit. Each subreddit has its own rules and people who maintain it. If you wanted to ban people talking about bananas, you could do it. Just be aware that blocking out everything and anything people disagree with doesn't make a platform better. If the goal is to create a platform where wrong thinking is spurned, Reddit is already that platform and has overwhelmingly driven dissenting voices from the platform years ago. If you only hang around people who think exactly as you think, who do what you do, it doesn't make all the other people go away. It just means you're pretending not to hear them. It's good to be challenged once in a while. It's good to hear opinions other than your own. And it's good to think outside your carefully curated bubble. Story 8. Are the people pushing this boycott the same ones freaking out over Reddit's application programming interface policy? There's a certain type of Redditor that doesn't understand most people come here as a diversion and don't want reactionary boycotts getting in the way of their stamp collecting, horticulture, etc. Story 9. It's more performative than anything else, but beyond that, go for it if subscribers want. If it did manage to hurt the platform, fine, because forget about Musk, but I'm just 99% sure it won't. Story 10. I don't agree with it. People on all sides love censorship. If you don't like something, don't use it. Take ownership of it yourself. For those trying to ban everyone else from seeing it, these are just as bad as the people they worry about. To be clear, banning others from seeing or accessing links because of your own political views makes you as bad as Musk and the Nazis you claim to hate. Story 11. People on Reddit are so gullible. They have allowed a few loudmouth troublemakers to wind them up and point them at manufactured drama. So they respond by stomping their feet, closing their eyes, sticking their fingers in their ears, and retreating a little deeper into their echo chamber. Story 12. I agree that per Reddit rules, they may if they want. If it were totally up to me, I would ban almost anything political from any subreddit that was not news or politically oriented. But do not ever make anything totally up to me. I make bad decisions. Story 13. I'm just tired of it all. We've been through wave upon wave of this cancel culture nonsense. And every time they say it's essential to save the country or minorities or protect free speech. No, you just want control and this is your next target for it. It's just draining. You'd think the election would have taught people how much the normal person hates this stuff, but nope. Story 14. No, whether you like Elon Musk or not is completely beside the point. Propagating censorship is a big part of why we're in the current political climate, so let's maybe give unconstrained free speech and free press a try. Story 15. No, I am generally not in agreement with censorship. There are very specific times and places for censorship, and banning all Twitter links on Reddit does not strike me as the right time or place. Censorship is genuinely dangerous to society, and people should really stop throwing it around as a way of scoring cheap political points, as if no harm can come of it. Story 16. Reddit is built around being mostly a self-governing community. So, in that respect, I'd agree with each subreddit making its own decision. I think it's an obsessive trending reaction, and Reddit is terminally obsessed with Elon. I like the structure of Reddit users determining if there is a ban or not. I think it is in good faith and in line with the spirit of the community, which puts it above problematic sites like X, 4chan, and others. Although it is a huge echo chamber in here. Story 17. It's a dumb idea and makes the people pushing it look like idiots flailing around because they are mad that Trump got reelected. We need to put on our big boy or girl pants and deal with the leader we have elected and hope for the best. As for X, it's a complete mess that I have never been able to make heads or tails of, so let it be. Story 18. I agree with it, neuters Reddit's voice and influence even further. This went from a social media site to a messaging platform years ago, and there is an agenda that most of us see right through. Story 19. I find it a waste of time and energy. To paraphrase a comment I made before, it's virtue signaling at best, and one that only hurts content creators and individuals who post on other platforms. Musk doesn't care and, if anything, actually welcomes the divisiveness. He enjoys people talking about him and banning him so he can rant some more, and he never earned more than a token amount of money from Reddit links, so it's not like it hurts his bottom line. If it's a money thing, then Musk earns $631 per second. A link is fractions of a penny. Literally nothing. And I doubt these subreddits drove much traffic to Twitter even before this. Meanwhile, people who are trying to grow communities and enjoy themselves get caught in the crossfire and banned or censored purely because they posted on the wrong site. Hence, virtue signaling. It's a waste of everyone's time and energy, only hurts those who aren't related to Musk, puts overhead on moderators and Redditors, and you just give Musk a point to gloat over more. Story 20. I think it's dumb because I truly do not believe that was an actual Nazi salute, and I'm not even a fan of Elon Musk. Mainstream media is barely even covering it because it does not pass any form of journalistic due diligence. He's actively saying that his heart goes out to people in the speech, and dozens of other politicians have given similar, if less awkward, hand signals. But we live in a society where people are so hypersensitive to what the other side is doing. Of course, we have to overreact, especially on Reddit, ground zero of echo chamber overreactions. So really, anyone calling him a Nazi is so brain-dead that they can't tell the difference between an awkward dummy at a speech and actual Hitler. They shouldn't be having a real opinion on it. And the firestorm center of the whole Nazi thing is really only Reddit, with its echo chambers in many subreddits. It's hardly anywhere else in the world other than Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez trying to regain some relevance in the world after the elections. If you Google Elon Musk right now, there are like 2 articles. One is about Reddit banning links, and the other is Elon's response to backlash that is specifically from Reddit. No actual mainstream journalistic media is even really talking about it. Story 21. No, people should be treated like adults and able to filter their own content. If they don't want to click on links, that's fine, but this constant treating everybody like children who need their parent looking over their shoulder, making sure they don't watch a restricted rated movie, is tiring and dumb. Story 22. I rarely saw links to X. Most of the times I've seen them, it was some politics rage bait on the usual suspect subreddits. And yet, I'm seeing the same question everywhere in my feed, sometimes even from subreddits I don't follow and never did. This is the level of slacktivism and insufferability I didn't think was possible to achieve. Story 23. I think it's dumb, but most people are dumb, so they will probably vote to ban links from it. Elon is not a Nazi. Nazis are really, really bad. Elon is a socially unaware, neurodivergent dummy who is hopped up on ketamine most of the time. X is the biggest social media platform. Restricting it is just kind of restricting your own content. Story 24. What I find disturbing is how most liberals are in favor of banning links while the website is owned by Musk. The content is harmless, but not in favor of banning hate speech, pornography, and videos of violence and rape, which are all rampant on Reddit. Story 25. If it's due to functionality requiring signings and considered a detriment to your experience on Reddit, then yes. If it's because you ideologically want to promote a safe space where ideas you disagree with are hidden, then no. Don't be an intellectual coward. Story 26. No, because censorship is always a bad thing. Also, it's pretty hypocritical to justify it by saying someone is pro-fascism, but the act of censoring such a large portion of the population for a perceived association with a political party is in line with fascistic values. Story 27. Yes. In my experience, links to Twitter do not even work. I am using the official Reddit application, and any Twitter link I click just takes me to the landing page for Twitter, not to the specific post that was linked. Just me? Maybe. But considering both that and the fact that Elon Musk is a scumbag, we may as well get our content elsewhere. Story 28. The only thing Twitter was ever truly useful for was following companies to be notified of when they posted a link to an announcement. If you're going to post the link to a Twitter post, you might as well post the link or image within the Twitter post instead. Story 29. I agree with banning Twitter links, but I'm concerned about why these questions are getting posted on AskReddit repeatedly. Can't we just pin one discussion to the top? It feels like someone is asking the question to get the answer they want instead of just listening. Story 30. Should have happened last year when it was very apparent for all to see that Musk was actively using X to promote Trump and line his pockets with the populist movement. Story 31. Twitter doesn't exist in the same way, and it's garbage. I was on Twitter about 15 years ago, and believe me when I say that it was a worthy platform with a much more democratic feel. Aggressive algorithms ruined that, and it has just become a very obvious bot-manipulated propaganda machine, censored to death. It's sad. Story 32. Can someone explain to me and simplify what the actual issue with this is? Maybe I just have not experienced what the problem actually is, but I see a lot of people saying former Twitter links will not be accepted. Is it a legitimate problem, or is it people being political? Story 33. No. It's ridiculous and just shady business. To quote Benjamin Netanyahu, Elon Musk is being falsely smeared. Elon is a great friend of Israel. He visited Israel after the October 7th massacre in which Hamas terrorists committed the worst atrocity against the Jewish people since the Holocaust. He has since repeatedly and forcefully supported Israel's right to defend itself against genocidal terrorists and regimes who seek to annihilate the one and only Jewish state. I thank him for this. Story 34. There should have been a push to avoid this situation as soon as one of the richest men in the world bought what was essentially the town square of the information superhighway. It was always an obvious ploy to control the marketplace of ideas with his own subsidies. Story 35. Meh. It doesn't really affect me much either way. It does feel largely performative. It reminds me of the time half of Reddit was threatening to boycott over the shutdown of third-party applications. Look how much of an effect that didn't have. Story 36. Yes and no. When Reddit keeps censoring content and fostering the leftist echo chambers, it's funny when something happens and Reddit users become confused because they are out of touch with reality. Unfortunately, the downside is that the hysteria ends up causing violence because while most Reddit users do not actually believe Musk or Trump are Nazis, the dumbest and most propaganda-fed individuals will end up causing violence, as we've seen already. But what can you do? Reason and common sense are not going to dissuade people who have been trained by a corrupt media establishment to administer their daily Reddit dose of self-righteous fury. It's easier to rile people up if you can dehumanize the enemy with false accusations of Nazis or meaningless phobia labels. It's just too bad when innocents get harmed because Reddit users are too scared to confront opposing ideas honestly and decide to resort to censorship instead of simple reason. Story 37. I mildly dislike not being able to see the posts linked without making or signing into an account, but I really don't care that much. What I do hate is my entire page being absolutely filled with random Nazi or fascist low-effort memes in subreddits that they don't belong in. It makes me want to keep those links in those subreddits just to annoy people. I don't care if you think Elon is a Nazi. If you actually cared, You'd be writing to your congressperson about putting restrictions on his government-funded programs, not posting low-effort karma farms on Reddit. Story 38. There is no need to ban links to any website. You just don't click on them. Let people self-censor language. You don't need to click on any link that is posted ever. Simple. Let people make their own damn choices. What the heck is wrong with you? People, just use the brain you have and make a choice for yourself. Dare to think for yourself.